Through the generous contribution of Dr. Lewis's family, we're very fortunate to be able to share with you these timeless recordings of Dr. M. W. Lewis, a self-realized American yogi. Dr. Lewis was Paramhansa Yogananda's first American disciple and dearest personal friend. The wisdom Dr. Lewis imparts through these teachings will give you a dynamic and practical insight into the ancient science of yoga as taught by Paramhansa Yogananda. This lecture's title is Acquire True Wealth and was delivered in Hollywood, California on June 16, 1957.
Thank you. Our subject this morning, acquire true wealth. Acquire true wealth. Let us not forget Paramhansa Yogananda's words, founder of self-realization, when he said that the true nature of a man is determined not by what he has, but by what he is. And so what we are, truly, is real wealth. Now, true wealth is wealth of the spiritual realm. Wealth of Christ consciousness, wealth of heaven. Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this earth." And so, real wealth, true wealth, must be spiritual wealth, because this world passes away and the things thereof. So let us understand right off what true wealth is. It's spiritual wealth, wealth in Christ consciousness, wealth in heaven. Now, true wealth is eternal, and therefore it is our greatest need, our first necessity. Because every day we have illustrations right before our eyes of the temporary nature of things of the world. They pass away. But spiritual wealth does not pass away. It is eternal. And so we must not forget that whatever we accumulate of a material nature, we are apt to lose in a moment. Anyway, at any rate, we have to leave it. And so it behooves us to judge whether we are laying up wealth of a temporary nature or whether we are laying up spiritual wealth which is eternal and does not pass away. And one great thing to remember is this, that although we can lose, and those of you who have passed through a stock market crash understand that you can lose in a moment what it has taken years to accumulate. But it is never necessary to lose spiritual wealth, because it is eternal and cannot be taken away from you. That's the lesson we must learn this morning. Spiritual wealth is eternal. Now, although we have been, or are, divinely created, somehow we have lost connection between, or with, rather, the great ocean of God's consciousness, true spiritual wealth. Somehow we have lost that connection. Although we read in the Scriptures we are made in the image of God, I say God's children of the Most High, still we have lost that connection. We have lost contact with the great ocean of God's presence, and therefore spiritual or true wealth. Now, how has this come about? Through a progressively evolving process in which the individual soul of man has become attached to its natural body, this body of nature, and its material existence. We have become attached to the vehicle and that existence in which the vehicle lives, rather than to the eternal things of spirit. We must not forget that. In other words, these limiting conditions, illusory conditions of this outward existence, have replaced within us those eternal things of spirit or those eternal things of true wealth. We have to undo that. We have to once more leave that outward consciousness, or this outward consciousness which is of a dual nature and passes away, and replace it by a permanent eternal consciousness of the presence of God within. It is because we are connected with this cosmic dream consciousness, this illusory or transitory consciousness. It is because of that that we suffer and we do not enjoy our natural wealth of spirit. We suffer ill health, loss of things, and poverty because we are identified with this cosmic dream which passes away. Now, in striving for temporal things, we must not forget values. We must be able to judge values. Speaking about values reminds me of a little story, or rather an actual happening. Happened out in the desert where I go a day or two a week to recuperate, realizing real values.